with the job.
Well, if you happen to come across one of those big copiers, let me know, because we need something for out of buck stop junction.
They had one last month, but I don't know, it's a crapshoot, you know, you're gambling as to whether
Yeah.
you need to spend $300 on toner or the rollers and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody, we'll call the meeting of the Missouri Valley Complex Committee to order. I'll be sitting in for Kay, who's on the road, and Kay is on the phone listening in, so she is present with us today. So, Missy, would you call roll, please?
No, but I
Or
will.
Marie, yeah.
I will. Okay, so we'll start, let's see, Peters,
Here.
Martinezson. New. He's here. Oh no, I didn't practice. Your name,
Oh, here.
here. Keifel is not here, because he's not here no more.
We have Representative Dave Free.
How do you spell your last?
Dave Mayer.
It's
Dave
Mayor.
Mayer.
It's like that's
Free's
Dave.
over Mandan.
Yep.
Dave Mayer.
M-A-Y-E-R.
Okay. Hills and Daggers next to me.
Here.
She's an H. LaCoe is on the phone, we'll document that. I am here, Olson is not here. Okay,
Okay, we have
Commissioner
quorum.
Munson is technically here.
Commissioner Jeske is also here.
Oh, Jeski's here too. Okay, yeah, I talked to you.
In spirit.
In spirit. Okay,
Okay, thank you. We have quorum. Approval of May 20, or May meetings 2026. Wishes of the committee.
I would move that we approve the minutes for May 20th, 2026.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Approval of the agenda. Any additions or corrections or changes to the agenda? Hearing none, the agenda will stand as presented. Public comment. Public comment for Burley County residents or landowners only. Anybody wishing to address the committee? Second call for anybody wishing to address the committee. Third and final. Anybody wishing to address the committee? Hearing none, we'll close the public comment. Commissioner Munson.
Here we go.
Briefing, your section.
Thank you, Chair. Pull up the agenda so I have all of that. As I'm hoping you all know or have watched that the planning agreement has gone to the planning and zoning for the first reading, if you will. Now it is planned for a public hearing at the next planning and zoning meeting in July. So that is moving on quite well. Monday night, I presented to the Burley County Commission a plan to join the park board with the Missouri Valley Complex Committee. It includes a new option for having a 7-member committee, which would only have 2 commissioners and 5 whether it's appointed or elected commissioners from the public. Along with a plan for employees as far and the equipment moving forward into 27 so that the park board can more efficiently maintain the facilities that we have. I had very little comments at the commission meeting on Monday. The majority of the comments that came back were from Commissioner Schwab, who did not want to participate with the highway department within the agreement. I think that's a little unfortunate because I think we need everybody on board within the county to understand that it's not that we're asking for the highway department to provide labor or provide equipment, but to be a partner in this new venture. But the next park board meeting will be again in July, and we'll leave it in the document as it is. And if Commissioner Schwab would like to make a motion to remove that section, we will remove that section at that time. But my plan is in July to ask for Burley County Commission's approval to move forward with that. I have sent it on to Julie Lawyer, that document that I think Steve shared with everybody, just to make sure that Julie concurs with how it was formed, and then from there, if she has any legalese, if you will, within the document that are gonna be required for us to have a formal change to combine the complex committee and the Burley County Park Board. So the commissioners at the table, I had a lot of positive comments from the two Park Board commissioners, as well as Commissioner Woodcox and Commissioner Bucket. So there was some good feedback from that as well. I had a call from Dustin the other day, and I do want to recognize Dustin. Dustin did the majority of the heavy work on that project. He's the one that came up with a lot of the thought processes, and then I took it and massaged it from there. So I do want to thank Dustin for that work, because it made my job a little easier. And I'm pretty sure Dustin writes and creates that document way better than I could. So I do appreciate that help. Budget, as far as that's concerned, that has been submitted to the county. This year is going to be a little different than the past several years. The budget committee is formed of just staff instead of commissioners on that committee as well, to review what has been requested from each department, and then that will come back to commission for approval of the preliminary budget as we move forward. I will still meet with that group and present the park board and the complex's requests. Talking with Taylor, we did budget for 2 full-time employees moving forward with the park board, a park manager and then 1 technician. That technician will share some time with the highway department as we will need their help for half the year, but not the other half. The highway department is understaffed and they need some help, so this would work out well to share that employee for that time. In the budget, I did put in our own lawnmower trailer pickup for that part-time employee to maintain and mow all of our properties. As we found this year, just mowing costs are almost what we paid Bismarck Parks and Rec last year to do all of the work for us. So we are gonna have to take that on ourselves. We can't put that back out for bid and spend that kind of money. But we have a lot of other needs. The other part that just really surprised me was the bids we received for spraying for weeds. Between spraying and mowing, we have now spent more than we spent last year with Bismarck Parks and Rec doing all of the work for us. So they were obviously very efficient in what they did, and we thank them for that help. But now we are moving forward, on our own. I don't know if it's a positive or a negative thing, but as we grow the complex, the park district said that they would grow with us and keep staff and maintaining, but as we get into, if the aquatic center, if the equine center does come to fruition, I really foresee that being 4 or 5 employees in a few years. And I'm not sure the park district would have been able to do that. They said they would, but now it's going to be on us. It'll be a responsibility of ours to make sure we do that. Planning discussion, I failed you. I did not get a chance to have any conversations with Swenson and Hagan about Phase 3. Phase 3 is our next piece that we are going to have to go through for the Missouri Valley Complex to start planning assumptions that once the planning and zoning gets through their meeting in July and Burley County Commission would get through approving the plat at the end of July, then we need to start moving with Phase 3 to finalize roads and infrastructure and where we wanna place what. And so that's the next piece that we are gonna have to do there. I think we had talked about a subcommittee first to meet with them to get a little bit closer to where we are, but I need to find out what their phase 3 cost is gonna be. Cause this board approved phase 1 and 2, but we need to go back and get a bid and approve phase 3, so. With that, I stand for questions.
Right.
Okay, so I noticed, well, I'll just say it, the weed officer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Worley County has a weed person we employ full-time, and on off-season, he works for the highway department.
Correct.
So so like when the commissioner who's like, we don't want the highway department involved or whatever, is that including the weed officer? Cause why would the weed officer not be able to spray weeds at Kimball Bottoms or
Right.
something? Or did the weed officer spray the weeds, or did we hire OSI?
So through Darren, the weed officer, he did coordinate all of that for us. So he played the role that he could within his duties.
Okay,
And from there, he then hires the contractors to take care of the rest of the work, the physical work. So Darren does not have a lot of time to be out spraying all the properties. He makes sure that all the properties need spray, or he's dealing with the public as to their concerns with the issues. No different than he did with me. You know, we did confirm that the land that we had rented to Coleman last year did get seeded this year. However, we've got some weed issues up there, and Darren's in the middle of now doing the research for that, because if it was seeded in May, how soon can we spray, what can we spray with? We do have some weeds up there that we've gotta get through. So Darren's been phenomenal at coordinating all of that for us, and getting that information to the vendor that does the spraying.
okay, so the weed office, I mean, they're not an office, but there's only one person, but whatever, the weed
Yep.
office is able to help.
Correct.
And I get, he's an administrator, and like,
Yep.
spraying the roundabouts is done by OSI, or could be me if I'm the lowest
Yep.
bidder. Okay,
Yep.
so that person, that department can help in the future.
Yes.
So then my other thought would be is, extension is another portfolio that's held by commissioners. So like, my real question is this: how can a commissioner say, I have that portfolio, therefore we don't wanna participate in a county event? And this isn't directed towards you, and you probably have the same question. But how, like, I don't even know how to phrase it nicely, because I'm thinking the same problem. We literally have we have a weed, I mean, we have Kelsey, the horticulturalist. She went to college to identify weeds, but she works for Extension. So if a commissioner's saying Extension can't help the complex, that's like a whole, because if I have a bad weed, I'm calling Kelsey.
Right.
So I mean, like, are they not allowed to talk to us?
I've been told no.
Okay, well, I know we can't use
By-
that building maybe to have a meeting, but, okay,
By that one commissioner.
okay, so,
And, you know,
okay,
it's like in marriage, you know, you do your best to
Okay.
keep the peace as much as you can, and you find other ways to get things done that you want done.
true, and here's the deal, I mean,
And that's how the rest of the commission has decided to operate.
Right.
So until the rest of the commission changes its operations, that's how it's gonna work.
Yep.
okay.
Yeah. There are ways around it, and
No, like, I
again-
just want it to be like, in the light, that this makes no sense, right?
Correct.
I mean, to me, I'm not a commissioner, I'm not running to be a commissioner, but you're one county. So, anyway, I'm just wondering, like, the weed office could be another place
Yeah.
where we can't get help. Where he's gonna be told, don't talk to them, don't talk to Wayne, I don't know.
It could happen, and at that point, then what ends up happening for today, Wayne Munson, the commissioner, has to go to find those applicators and get that work done. Or I ask Auditor Swanskowski to help, which typically what happens is I find out, I get it to Mark, Mark takes care of it, and we've had a great relationship that way. She's working pretty good.
Well, Wayne, a couple questions on the proposed operation, government park board structure. There was a reference in there to McDowell Dam, and I was questioning what that reference
I
is.
thought I'd removed all of that. If I
What-
didn't,
what-
let me know, and I'll make
Yeah,
sure that comes
because
out.
that's totally,
Yeah.
that's
That's-
separate,
yep.
that's not relevant at all.
Correct,
Because
and
that's
that's,
the water board, and that's a
Yep.
whole different deal.
yep, so I need to, if there's something in there yet, I'll have to remove
Okay,
that.
maybe it was the first one that I saw.
Is it this part where it talks about the water resource district and McDowell Dam?
Yeah.
But I mean, that just kinda says that's who does it.
And we wanna
Yeah,
maintain that
but not to give
relationship.
the impression that it's gonna get folded in here.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
because there was a lot of information in this document that Dustin put together that included McDowell, and we don't have any control over that, we don't even
Totally
fund,
separate.
that's funded through, and it's, the park district's involved, and the board, you know, the water board's involved, and we have nothing.
Yeah, and this was, it wasn't just me writing it, it was AI. I was
Right.
using AI to create a boilerplate to work off of, and it was kind of a fill in the blanks type
Yep.
of approach to a document.
Yeah, yeah, it had a lot,
I didn't write 18 pages on this, so
I was
don't have
giving
that
you
kind
all
of
the
time.
credit, Dustin, you didn't have to say that.
The other question I have is the present structure of the county park board as an operating entity, but, you're looking to change the structure and the overall operation, I mean, going from 5 commissioners to 2, and however that. So there will have to be an operating plan put together
Yes.
as far as this goes along.
Mm-hmm.
So your timing on this is looking at January to implement?
As slow as government works, I would hope to have it done by January, correct?
So are you looking to create the operating plan before that, or once you start January, then the operating plan gets developed and then we lose another 6 months, 8 months?
I would like to see what happens with this proposed document in July and then start on the operating. Because if I get shot down in July, there's no reason to go to the next step.
Yeah.
So
But
let's get
general,
through.
that's what I'm looking for.
Because Julie will have to create an entire,
Well, because there's no operating procedures right now.
Right.
There's no guideline operating procedures for the
Yep.
park board.
correct,
You know, and selecting members, and that still obviously goes to county commission, but
Yep.
there needs to be some mechanism, which goes back to your questions, Marie. That mechanism can be done in that operating agreement and how this interfaces as an operating entity with the highway department and with the weed board and with extension, where it should be.
where it should, correct.
Yeah, how it's operating,
Yep.
so.
Yeah. I see it, I personally see it something similar to how planning and zoning works, except going to the county commission for final approval for everything they do. I would like to see it as a separate operating board.
Yeah.
It has a budget, you work within that budget. The park manager that is hired would be the one liaison for the board to make sure that work is being done. The 2 commissioners that are on the board, if things needed to go back to the commission, could. But the reality of it is I would like to see it as an autonomous board.
Well, the other boards operate that way. The water board has got a representative of the county commissioner, and they're only
Yep.
part of that, and it's a liaison relationship
Right.
as our staff members, so.
Yep.
So the operating is gonna be pretty important to have done,
Correct.
but, so the concept you're looking for is to change the structure.
Yes. I want to get that approved before we move on to the next step. Not that AI takes a lot of time, but.
Because there was nothing in existence, like, that's just where I started at.
Yep.
For what you just said, there's no operating plan in existence, so there's nothing you're starting from square one.
Yes,
And there's no master plan for the county parks, and
Right.
there's a lot of things, so.
correct.
And the other part of this would be the relationships, it was referenced slightly, is with Game and Fish and or some of the other entities that have jurisdiction over those properties. You know, and too, so.
Well, and even you get work down to the desert and making sure that we have that agreement with the Corps as part of it as well.
The other part of the budgeting process, in the last meeting, we asked that the complex fund be moved forward as part of it as a budgeted, or it's recognized in the budget as accessible for planning and things.
Yeah, so that fund is no different than we did approving phase 1 and 2. It is accessible to this board. At this time, it has to go to county commission for final approval, but yes, it is accessible to this board. No different than we saw as Mary was reading through the last master plan that was done at the complex. You know, phase 1 and phase 2 was approved by the county commission to have funds spent out of that reserve fund for those purposes, you know, so that still is in play as it sits right now.
Any other questions on it? I think it's a good move.
Yeah.
I think from the county park board standpoint, the citizen engagement of 5 people and 2 commissioner liaisons works. I think it gives a more ownership
Yes.
to the public and the participants and the citizens involved would have a greater interest in county park.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah. All right,
thank you.
thank you.
I think pretty well covered everything all the way down to item 9, which would be the open positions, just to moving forward. Commissioner Munson has talked about the complex and budgeting and infrastructure development and planning. Those things are all in process and moving forward. Just, Commissioner, you're saying August would be the final meeting of the plat and with the county commission, final approval, public hearing?
It could be the last July meeting, because planning and zoning would meet early July.
And they'll hold the first public hearing?
They'll have the one and only public hearing,
Okay.
you know, and
Then
then
it goes for approval.
it goes for approval. Yep.
July, okay, thanks. Presently, we have 2 positions that have been seated prior that are open, and Dave is here today representing the Park District on behalf of Kevin being gone. Mr. Leaker will be coming in this week, starting.
Yes,
so,
that's correct, yep.
The park board will
Yes.
then make the decision of who would represent Kevin on the board, so that one will be filled. The other one is the extension office.
So last I heard, they are and I'm not saying it's the Burley County Extension Office, but one level above is not interested in dedicating a person to come at noon. I don't know if things are gonna change now that they got 2 new staff, I don't know. And that was a few months ago when I had that conversation. So, I mean, maybe if we're doing more interesting stuff, they would send, but
It's not interesting?
I don't know. No one was interested in the office. And so, I don't know, and I don't know who they would send and how much, there's been a lot of turnover, how much they'll even know other than they drive to the complex and that's where they work. So that'll be, yeah, so we'll just see. I don't know I don't know that they're interested in filling it.
I guess we could make the call to the next level to see where they might be interested.
Yeah.
Commissioner Munson, do you see the operation of this group changing in the long term, or being represented, or a subcommittee, or just the complex? Because we talked about staffing and operations of the board. And I guess I picked up on that the park director, for lack of a better term, would be the go-to between the parks operation and the county commission.
Correct.
That structure, there may be some structural changes.
I think it's important that this group, which is primarily dedicated to the complex, stays as a subcommittee to the overall park board. Unless we have some, a lot of crossover between here and there, I think it's important that we have a group dedicated to the success of the complex.
Yeah, from an operational programming and development probably.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So I think it'd be worth the contact extension to keep engaged. Okay. All right, item 10, development of Missouri Valley Complex event calendar. Commissioner Munson did send me a link and I couldn't open it.
I couldn't the first time either.
Yeah.
So on the Burley County website, there is supposed to be a link that gets us to a calendar that Mary has created for our use. And right before the meeting, I tried to get to that again, and of course, it didn't work either. So I will go back to Mary and find out. She had it. We were working on it one day. It worked great. It had month by month, had everything laid out in there. But before I came, I tried to get back into it and was unsuccessful. So, but it's basically an Outlook calendar, and we can submit our request or our approval to Mary, who will then
This is the meeting calendar.
Yeah.
No, the meeting calendar is separate, right?
correct.
Yeah. Okay,
Now it worked. No, that's the meeting.
that's the meeting
That's the
calendar.
meeting. Yep.
Yeah, and we're able to submit directly to Mary, or how's it function?
Mark, this might be more, I know you and Mary were talking a little bit about it as well.
Yeah, I guess if it's something that you want submitted to the website, that's gonna be something that you're gonna wanna submit directly to Mary herself. We don't have any capabilities to change anything on the backside of the website. She only has those capabilities. We did put together an Outlook calendar that myself and Commissioner Munson has access to, but that doesn't have any effect on the website.
Mary was talking about creating a form on the website that would then get you to be able to submit that she could make sure was on the calendar. And again, that calendar was intended for us to all be able to see it on, anybody to see it online, so that if Buckstop Junction was already hosting an event on a date, it would be there so that nobody else would request those dates. And so I'll go back to Mary this afternoon and see what we can get worked out.
Okay. Work in progress. Okay. Any other comments or thoughts on the agenda items, anybody?
I do,
Okay.
so like,
Right?
I would just move not to have a meeting on Wednesday, July 15th.
And we won't have final plat by then,
Yeah.
so that makes good sense.
Okay.
So you'll need a second,
Yes,
if
there's
someone would be
second-
so kind.
Second to that motion to not meet in July.
Second.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, we will not meet, our next meeting will be in August. Okay, no other business before the committee, the meeting will be adjourned. Thank you.